The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Tally Olson. I am back. You are comfortably zoned with me, the Zig Zag Man. I'm in Alameda, California, right across the bay from San Francisco, across the moat from Oakland. And I'm enjoying life. And one of the reasons is I get to talk to my favorite people. My favorite people happen to be comfortably zoned teammates of mine. Sam, welcome back.
Hey, man, always a pleasure. A good time with you. Good time with you, Ralph.
Sam Stith, as a matter of fact, former New York Knickerbocker, former St. Bonaventure, and present all-around good guy. You have been a blessing chatting with me. We go back to stuff, New York Knicks before you. We talk about how the Knicks were before you. And that's one of the things I wanted to catch up on with you. Who were your favorite players when you were growing up with the Knicks?
Carl Braun, Sweetwater Clifton. You know, you had fantastic. You had Carl Braun. You had Sweetwater Clifton. You had Dick McGuire. You follow me in the backcourt. Max Zalowski, right?
Oh, Max Zalowski had a bowling alley in Queens. And I used to go to his bowling alley, and later on he had a memorabilia shop in Queens. And I don't remember if that was Queens in New York, but and he was a very personable, very nice guy. Really. He was a throwback. And Carl Braun, I was at the Garden in the lobby of the Garden the first day he took over as coach, and our paths crossed. And I just said something like, "Hey, congratulations," and he got to blow me off a little bit because I was
Then you had Harry Gallatin, the horse. You know,
yes,
Vanderway, Dr. Vanderway. You know, Vanderway is an interesting story. My brother, we were playing in the 69th Street Army in high school for a championship, and my brother got hit in the eye very bad, and the guy who came on the court to help him was Dr. Vanderway. And I never forgot that. Then, sons, brothers and everybody started playing. Mel Hutchins, you follow me? So, no, that was a throwback. Ironic enough, before I got to the Knicks, Carl Braun, you follow me, was going to coach, with the Knicks. And I think he was coaching, right before, Eddie Donovan, you follow me? But then I played against Carl when I was with the Knicks, right? He's with Syracuse now. And he played. I guarded him. He said, I said, I know how you shoot, man. I know what you're gonna do. So I should get in his face.
You give him a little bit open spot, and he take that set shot.
Oh my goodness,
that two-handed set shot, and he was absolutely like
the
that.
Best.
He reminded his cool was incredible, and the McGuires. It was back when New York was a point guard mecca, and the McGuires came out of there. We were lucky to grow up where we grew up.
Oh man, that was unbelievable. Al used to come off the bench and beat up on Bob Cousy. Cousy hated to see him come in the game. When Cousy's doing well. Lapchick go, Al, get up. And Kusa go, oh no, because he's in for a tough time. The McGuire brothers and Dick, one of the nicest individuals you'll ever meet is Dick. They out of Rockaway, one of the nicest people you ever meet, Dick. So you're along that line. But that's some good old days, and they were winning. So that helps a lot too with you playing in the NBA.
Sam, coming up. Did you ever really dream about being with the Knicks? Did you think was it a possibility in your mind And when did it become?
A good question, because I'm on YouTube now, right? And that came up on a question, and I dreamed of going with the Harlem Globetrotters. That was my dream.
Really?
And because Herman Taylor, who was on the Globetrotters the early days, he lived on my block. You follow me? Then Carl Green. These are the first two guys out of Harlem that played on the Trot. So they both, I grew up analyzing. As a matter of fact, Herman used to be in the park in the off season, and my brother Tom, we would go over there. You follow me? And he'll have us working out. And I spoke to him 2 months ago. He's in a nursing home. And 2 months ago, I spoke to him. I said, Herman, I'm gonna just say thank you. You had no idea the inspiration you did for us. You follow me? But
that had to make him feel so great.
Oh man, a lot of people help you on the way and they don't realize it. Ralph. And with the Knicks, I used to sneak in the old garden, and I idolized them. And I said one day I'll be playing in the garden. And sure enough, that came true. When I was in high school, we played our championship games in the garden. But the Knicks was I lived and died by them in the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Hey, I understand you're a better stickball player than a basketball player.
Well, I wish they gave scholarships in stickball in college. But I played one time with Willie Mays, against Willie Mays up on 55th Street. After he played with the Giants, he'd show up there in the street, and we played stickball. I wasn't in that block, but I knew guys up there. I come up there, he'd be playing stickball. I saw a picture last week in the show Brooklyn. That didn't happen. He was in the Upper Manhattan playing stickball. But I was hoping that I would dream to play stickball in the pros.
Well, or with me it was pocket pool. I was hoping that they'd have an Olympic.
Well, they have it. That's pro. They do our pro. The pool is our pro.
Okay.
Willie McDoney, right?
Yeah. Well, there's all kinds of pocket pool going on, and I had my expertise in those days. In any event, catch me up on your documentary. What's going on with that?
Well, all of a sudden, a few things are starting to happen in our lives. I'm on YouTube now talking about it's a series of our history, in St. Bonnie's and in high school, Sam Stith #22, and it's streaming now. A lot of people, responding, but it talks about our history, at, St. Francis Prep, how we got there, St. Bonnie's, the history of what we did in both schools, how we integrated both schools and changed the course of recruiting in college basketball. It's a whole lot. Then I got a book that's being done now. Hope to have it by January or February, and that's our whole history. My brother and I, team the greatest brother act in college basketball. So that's in the works. And then Tim Reed's an actor, director, and he's creating a new cable channel that's hitting in January. And one of the documentaries is on the impact of African American in entertainment and sports. And we were in a documentary on that. That'll be coming up. Hopefully, they're trying to get it done by Black History Month to show that. But so he's in the Caribbean doing the whole thing now down there with the cable. But he's going to probably launch it in January or February. And we're on there talking about our history of how we integrated, St. Francis Prep High School in the league. And also with, St. Bonaventure being, the first African American to play there and created their whole program, Ironic enough, they picked it 20 all-time St. Bonaventure players, and out of the 20, 18 African Americans, and the school had them before me and my brother got there. But it's a lot of stuff that's going on in our life now. I think they're trying to get in there before we expire.
Well, that's an inevitable, but having this as a legacy and having it in print or on film, you live forever.
Oh my
goodness, really.
Fantastic.
It's got to be a thrill for you, Sam.
Yes,
You
my
know what
family,
else you know what else I enjoy about following you on Facebook is that you always show pictures of groups of kids that you've coached along the way.
I love it.
You know, all different levels. How satisfying must that be for you?
Unbelievable. I just did this past Saturday in front of, at 900, a day of living is here, a day of giving, and I always go every year, 6 years, and 900 show up. Every kid gets a toy. The parents get clothes and food. But prior to the pandemic, right, I had my summer camp, all summer.
Mm-hmm.
And with the NBA Retired Player Association, we were doing free clinics for the kids. And what's great about it, Ralph, these kids listen, right? In my camp, I had the camp for 10 years. And, some of those kids were there for 8 years, 9 years. But they always respected me, you follow me? Forget the age and things, but they always had a respect for them because I knew the game. Matter of fact, 2 of the kids are now playing for Nevada and Reno right now. But me around kids is the greatest feeling. We always had a thing with players. If we could just say one kid was successful, but we have stuff. We normally have like over 100 kids in the city. But and then I go to high schools, talk to kids there, without basketball. And it's really giving back to the community. That's what they want to use that. I'm just saying it's just being part of a community where we can talk to kids and help them with education. One of our main problems now, which we can't really deal with, is the mental state of some of these kids, But right now, it's such a satisfying. When they posted on Facebook, I go, just had one now. I think we had 100 kids, and they listen. We give them shirts, and lunches sometimes. But it's no better feeling. I miss it so much now, but right now, we're not doing anything because of different variations. But it's such a great feeling because don't forget, we're growing up. We call them heroes back then. The Sayugo Greens, all the guys that was playing, in college and pros. Not so much the pros because it wasn't that irrelevant then. But right now, it's such a satisfaction that I'm around older ball players, that play in the NBA, Joe Cardwell, Pat Lieber, those guys, So we show up, and we used to be actively, physically doing it, but now we hire a trainer who does it, and we just sign autographs and talk to the kids, and we just added a new program. Go ahead, Ralph.
Sam, since we spoke, Johnny Green passed away.
Yeah. My goodness.
I just wanted to note that, and I know you were close to him. And
70 years. But I spoke to him. When I spoke to him 2 weeks before he passed, it was like we talk about the same old thing all the time, and you would know he was sick. He was in agony. But we talked, and I didn't hold him up too long, and I knew he was serious. 8 months he was in a facility. So I knew it was serious. But Johnny had a good life. He had a real good life. Matter of fact, when I was in the bank with the finance at SBA, I got him his loan to get his McDonald's in Queens. So that was very successful. Wow. But I miss him. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to express my condolences to you personally.
Thank you.
Not the basketball community is one thing, but the friendships you make goes beyond basketball. I bet there were times when you guys got together and basketball never came up. The subject of basketball never came up.
You're totally right. We have our NBA Player Association here, and we have our, Christmas parties and stuff like that. And we just talk about now, and these are older guys. We got 6 or 7 players out here, and you hit it right on the head. Very seldom we talk about basketball. We talk about the community, what we're doing professionally. Retirement. You're right about that.
Your families. again, I know what it is to lose close friends, and they're irreplaceable. You just you could have a million friends, but if you lose one that you were really a friend with, it affects you for the rest of your life.
You're right. Yeah, one of the real good things, Ralph, is this, right? For example, I'm talking to guys that I grew up with. So a few left. I'm talking to guys that I played with. You follow me? They're still around. Right. Like Freddie Crawford. My main man Freddie Crawford, who was St. Bonnie's, and we've been together since junior high school, right? And never had a disagreement or same with Johnny Green. Never have a disagreement or an argument. And we were talking. My wife said something. She says that if they had a kindergarten reunion, Sam would show. And I says, did they give you the date? That I would show up. Along that line. But back in Long Island, when I was in Long Island, I used to hold with a group of us, 5 of us got together, and we did a reunion of players back when we were playing. And what we did, Ralph, we didn't tell anybody who was coming. You follow me? And we did a weekend event in Long Island. And what happened, I was sitting in the lobby, and the greatest smile I had, I saw guys coming in who hadn't seen or talked to each other since college, right? We brought them all together, and we did it every 2 years. We brought them all together. Nice event. Matter of fact, I had Johnny show at one time because he lived there. And they booed him because he went to Michigan State. But you're absolutely right.
I want to ask you about your hero. Well, before we get into Tom, I want to talk about you telling us something about Tom that we don't know. We've talked a lot about it. What about Tom that you remember that nobody knows about? His way, his style, his kindness. What was it that you could tell us?
We started playing late. I was 10 and he was 8. We moved Virginia to Harlem, right? And the coach over there, Rick Stone, at PS5, made us come to the gym to learn how to play basketball. Okay? So we go up there. We had no idea what basketball was, right? And Tom, the quietest, unassuming guy you'll ever meet, he picked this game up quickly. He picked this game up. It took me longer because I was working. But he was smooth as silk. He dominated. When we played he dominated. We go to junior high school, he dominated, and you didn't know he was in the game until you look at the stats. 30 points, 25 points, right? We go unassuming at St. Francis Prep, right? St. Francis Prep. He scored 2,000 points in actually 3 years, right? And we were scoring. You couldn't stop him at 6'5", 6'6". Guys 6'8" guarding him was ridiculous. Triple everything. You couldn't. It was unstoppable. One couple of times he'd bring the ball up. That's how his game went. But you would never know until you look at the stats. Matter of fact, one game we played against a pro team, the Cleveland Pipers, in Cleveland. He got 65 points. He got 65 points. But you would know. I'm telling you, he was smooth, and no matter what it was, but his personality was sort of opposite of mine. I'm talking, and boom. You never know you never know he's around, and he picked and choose who he wanted to talk to. You follow me? He don't like to be bothered with BS, man. But he was the smoothest guy, and I played with him all my life, including with the Knicks. One of the best players. Matter of fact, in college, he was 2 years consensus All-American. Consensus means everybody voted for you, But he took it like, something. He didn't have a big head. He was like he'd make a winning shot, right? And everybody jumping around. He's like, what's the problem? You follow me? Now, one time I saw him mess up. We were in junior high school, and we went over to the east side to play at Ben Franklin High School, right? And with no time left in the game, with the clock ticking up. He got fouled for 2 shots. Okay, 2 shots. We're down by 1. He makes both. We win. I walked off the court, and you know why? I knew he was going to miss both of them. He was shaking, nervous. I knew he was going to miss both of them, which he did, okay? And then he became a 75 to 80% foul shooter from doing that.
From that
fact, we got upset because the coach left us because we lost the game. But I knew him so well that I knew this was the first time he was in the spotlight, where the pressure was on him. And then after that, in college, he was a 75 to 80% foul shooter. I watched some of the old film, by the way. And you know what I do when I'm watching it, Ralph? I rewind it and I say, how did he do that? I saw him make some moves against some college Canisius and St. Joseph in the Garden, and I rewind it and I go, wait a minute, what did he just do? How did he do that? Right? But he never took for granted. He never took for granted how good he was. I don't think he ever realized how good he was. And I'm going to use the word great. And I had one guy tell me, go ahead.
You compared him to, talking to me, to the likes of Elgin Baylor,
yes,
and what have you. He
yes.
was right up there. And the sad part is tuberculosis killed his career. I mean, it didn't kill his career per se, but it certainly he certainly wasn't the same. Am I correct? He didn't come back at full strength.
Okay. There's a lot of controversy right now. I'm going to talk to you about this, right? At St. Bonnie's, right? No one ever heard of St. Bonnie's and never heard of the coach, okay, Eddie Donovan, right? Then he became successful because of Tom and myself, okay? When I went with the Knicks, I was with Cleveland, with Steinbrenner, right? And then my contract was up, and then the Knicks offered me a contract. Tom had a bad week in April that year. He just got married, right? And he found out he had to work.
That's always a bad week. That can always be a bad week for people.
You know something, Ralph. I used to say to him, I said, why? And he's in college, right? He married a local girl. He married her, right? All right. They got married. He signed with the Knicks. Listen to this: a 2-year contract, right? $36,000. He was making $18,000 a year. Oscar was making $12,000, right, with the Knicks. So I go there first, and this coach that we made in college totally messed my basketball career up. I could never understand the mystery of why bad he treated me. He treated me really, really bad. You follow me? He had a choice when the season started. He had a player on that team, Whitey Martin, my backcourt guy. He loved Whitey Martin, so he drafted him with the Knicks. He starts Whitey Martin in the Garden, right? And the newspapers got on him. Then he started me, okay? He treated me so bad during my time with the Knicks. And when my brother got there, he treated him even worse. And we call it a mystery of why he did it. So years go by, 25 years.
The mystery is really a mystery because you and
no one
brother,
ever heard of him. No one ever heard of him.
No one heard of him before, and no one would have heard of him after if it wasn't.
We were at an event. We were in an event in Buffalo, a big event, and his wife, who came over to Tom's wife and said, Coach still feels bad how he treated Tom and Sam. And I wish it was asked my wife. She didn't ask why. I'm going to tell you how bad it was, right? Back in the NBA in the days, it was a quota system. Everybody knew that. You don't have so many, African Americans on the team. Everybody, it was unwritten, but most people knew it, right? Only 2 could start, and you couldn't have 3 in the same game at the same time, right? So I'm on the Knicks, who definitely, in that era, they weren't like that, so to speak. December 15th, and I had a no-cut contract, which means they can't release me. They got to pay me my 4-year salary, right? December 15th, right. He asked me I'm starting. He asked me to do him a favor. He said, Sam, could you do me a favor? I want you to sit out 5 games like you hurt because I want to take a look at Al Butler, who just got cut from the Celtics. Al Butler, I played against for 2 years at St. Barnes. The most he got against us was 16 points.
Niagara, right?
Oh, yeah, shooter's delight. But we always stopped him. I guarded him. He says, I want to take a look at Al. I ain't saying anything, right? 5 games. All right. 10 games go by, no word on me. 15, I'm getting paid. I go to practice, right? The team going, why? They question why come I'm not back on the team. I had no answer. We had 4 black guys on the team. If they take Al, that's 5. They have white guys on the bench who weren't even playing. They play garbage time. I'm starting, but he asked me to do it because they couldn't do it with a white player. You follow me? And with 5 black guys, you can't do that. So finally, what happened was one of the guys he released, and I got back on the team, on the bench, and we're playing a game in Philadelphia against Chicago, right? The first game, we're down by 12. He thinks the game is over. You love this story. He thinks the game is over. With 3 minutes to go in the game, Sam, going for Richard Guerin, right? I go in.
Right.
I scored 12 straight points to tie the game. And guess who I'm guarding and who got Cy Hugo Green, one of my heroes growing up.
Yes.
Right? One of my heroes growing up. And I took him to the hoop. I shoot jump shot. The buzzer ring with 30 seconds to go in the game, and we're down by 2, and he puts Richie Guerin back in for me. He put Richie Guerin back. I looked at Richie. I said, he took me out. They lost. The locker room was lit. We didn't make that many games. The players in the locker room was livid. And the new TV station had me go, interview after the game or why he took me out. I go, well, it's the coach's decision. We lost the game. He took me. I was on how you get on the roll, and he treated me like that the whole time I was with. Now you say Tom's demise talent? No, emphatically no, and I'm gonna tell you why. He went with the Knicks. You follow me? And Donovan told him, get in shape. But every day at Christ the King Seminary in Long Island, I worked out with my brother. Every single day, I worked out with him. Right? I was selling insurance for Prudential at the time, by the way. And I worked out with him every single day to get him in shape. And I said, be careful going to camp, right? So now we go to camp. Both of us. Did the same thing to Tom, boom. Meanwhile, Tom doesn't say, he's not confrontational, by the way. He go along with the program. And I'm like this. Now, come cut down date, right? I'm having a camp that I could definitely make the team. That cut down date, now keep in mind, if they cut you, you don't get paid if you don't have no cut. They say thank you. Cut down date come, and I start counting, Ralph, oh boy, how many minorities on the team. He calls me in. It's a season, Chicago wants you to come. I said, I'm not interested in going to Chicago. And he gives me $1,000 cash, right, and thanked me and sent me on my way and kept some players that couldn't touch what I did. With Tom, as the year went along, he didn't play him. And one game he put him in against Cliff Hagan of St. Louis Hawks. Tom ate him up, right? It got so bad for Tom. Donovan was going on a scouting trip. He told the captain, no matter what the score is, don't put Tom in. Now, Tom Gola was on that team, and Tom Gola told Tom, he said, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought you were just hype coming out of college, but you can really play. I don't know why you're not playing, right? You can really play. But Tom in practice kick your butt, right? So this went on. So finally cut Tom, right? Tom goes down to the Eastern Basketball League. At the time, Ralph, was tougher than the NBA. The Eastern Basketball League was tougher than the NBA, some teams, right? Tom averaged 35 points a game there. MVP. He had his game back. You follow me? Wow. So it wasn't it lost his. He didn't lose a step. One game he got 60. You don't do that losing a step after having tuberculosis. He was in a sanitarium for 6 months.
Who is this being held back by Donovan? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. If they either stayed with the Knicks and played, they were losing, right? And then what happened, Donovan had his sight was on becoming general manager, which he did. He put a championship team together. You follow me? And just before the championship, he went to Buffalo with a new franchise, right? And he only lasted there because he had a run in, and he got blackballed, which I'm not going to go. He got blackballed from the NBA. Then he goes back to St. Bonaventure, begged them to take him back, right, for what he did up there. So, Franciscan ways, that's what they do. They took him back. Yeah. And then he called me, hey, Sam. I said, what's happening? He said, I just noticed something. We never retired Freddie's number. He's not doing anything. We're grabbing the money. And then he finally told him, get out of here. But to this day, and I put in the book, the mystery of when I met this guy the first time, this guy was like my father the whole time I'm playing. And by the way, a great coach, college, motivating, is none other than him. He was the best. But right. But also when you get drafted, the coach come and talk to you what you're going to do and then never. When I finished playing ball, the next time I talked to him was a graduation. And meanwhile, I negotiated my own contract, with Mr. Steinbrenner. I got drafted by, Cincinnati, the Royals, which is Sacramento now. They play shooting guard alongside Oscar Robertson. But Mr. Steinbrenner had a bigger checkbook. But I put all of what I put in the book.
Tell me about something about George Steinbrenner that we don't know, because he gets a lot of bad rap. I did a show the other day, a podcast with David Nemec, who was coached by Steinbrenner as a youth. And he has wonderful things to say about Steinbrenner's coaching ability. Did that come up at all? Did he do any coaching?
Well, let me tell you about Mr. Steinbrenner. Mr. Steinbrenner was the form of hiring African American players, right? I'm with the Pipers. It was 8. I think it was 8 of us plus a coach was black. John McClellan was the first black coach in professional sports, right? And Mr. Steinbrenner paid you well, and you better perform. He used to sit behind the bench, and he was there, right? And this is the best team I've ever been on in my life. John McClellan would teach you fast breaks. You saw the Celtics when you saw us running. And he had all these guys from Tennessee State. Big Barnett was coming later on, but he had all these Tennessee State guys, Ben Waller, John Barnhill, and myself, right? But Mr. Steinbrenner paid us well. And guess what? We were 86-5. We never didn't want to lose. And we went to the AAU against Denver. The winning team goes to Russia, right? And we ran away with the tournament, right? And we get on this private plane, and on our way back, by the time we landed, they changed it. And this is the reason why. 8 blacks on the team, and the coach is black. And the NCAA said, we're not going to have a black team going to Russia. So we landed in Cleveland. The newspapers was there saying, what do you think about the all-star team that's going to Russia? What all-star team? We just won everything. And Mr. Steinbrenner pitched a fit. I'm a boycott. Man, I'm telling you something. This is at the airport. He pitched a fit. And then they end up taking, Terry Dissinger, Jerry Lucas, guys like that. And only 2 from our squad went to Russia. Then my grandmother bride patch about the rabbit, been to the bride patch. We said, we didn't want to go to Russia anyway, But he was a fantastic owner. But his father, they were shipbuilders, right? Father didn't take to sports too much, so we just stayed away from him. But Mr. Steinbrenner treated you like a man, and he paid, and he never complained if you messed up. Because, why? We hardly ever messed up. We kept winning. We never lost in Cleveland. We would lose someplace like in Oklahoma for obvious reasons, out there. And but great owner, father. He gave me, listen to this, you're going to enjoy this one. When I got the job at Prudential Insurance Company of America, they sent out a background check on me to Mr. Steinbrenner, right? And the letter he sent back to my boss about my character and my performances was second to none. And he let me read it. And he gave me such a high recommendations that, was fantastic, So He was a great owner, but all he's by winning. And he said, "I'm gonna pay you. You got to win. That's it." Today, these guys get paid and don't win. That I can't understand. I don't understand. The coaches can't win; they still getting recycled, and they don't win championships. They get recycle. But no, he was great.
You ever played for? Who is the best coach you ever played for?
In college would be Eddie Donovan, but the best coach, John McClendon would be the best coach. I only played for him for a year, but I played for 3 years at Bonner. But John McClendon, you know why? He was quiet, unassuming, and he made us run, and he taught us how to do a fast break in teaching. You follow me? And the guys, they loved him. I stayed with him when I first got to Cleveland until I got to play. One of the nicest gentlemen you'll ever, he had at Tennessee State. They won 3 championships in a row, and didn't get any recognition to now. But in college, Donovan was a players coach. We taught us, I'll be honest with you. One of the guys who was going to the Hall of Fame said when I got there, he had to teach me anything because I came out of a good environment. Harlem, St. Francis Prep, which we were undefeated. So it wasn't too much to teach me. You follow me? But it was a different kind of atmosphere, so I went along with the program, But he was a great motivator in college. But in the pros, the worst coach you'll ever have when he was in the pros. The guys didn't respect him. They didn't want anything to do with him because he didn't know what he was doing. Very difficult leaving college and coming to coach in the pros. Back in those days, these were men. These guys were trying to make a living. They only get so much money. $5,500 was their minimum salary. And, March season's over, they're working, selling shoes or something. So they were unteachable. And he's the wrong guy for that job. Same thing unfortunately, with Carl Braun. He was the wrong guy for that job. And he was lousy. We still won 24 games, but guys didn't respect him, And going one step further, when Sherman got the 100-point game, okay, only player didn't get in the game. And two of the players were missing. Waddy Martin, Phil Jordan is missing, right? And I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm watching the game, and I'm saying to myself, the scouting report is so messed up. Chamberlain was the worst foul shooter in the league, okay? Worst foul shooter in the league. At halftime, he had 10 straight. Then he was making his foul shot. And we kept fouling him. And I'm saying, why would you keep fouling the guy? Because he's making, why don't you foul Al Allos or Guy Rogers in the backcourt before they give him the ball? Or the other players. Right. You could see he hit 28 out of 32. I'm the only player that didn't get in the game. And the guy who wrote the book on it, we talked about it. And I couldn't figure it out. We had 5 black guys then. You follow me? And the only guy didn't get in the game. By the way, mercifully, I'm glad I did. But that's a kind. I had no idea to this day why he traded this way. I can't. It's a mystery. And somebody said maybe he was jealous because he wanted all the credit. Let me tell you, when I got up there, he recruited me, and I went up there, and the first time I met him, he says to me, he said, "Oh, I want you to work out with the varsity." And I'm going, work out? I just came up city championship, national championship, All-American, and I got to work out? No other coach asked me to do that. So I went along with the program. Then after, he says, I just want to see you fit in our system. You know what his system was? They were 18 and 50. No. They were 18 and 50. No. And I went like this. That's his system.
Just calling it a system is a slur on systems. Because that wasn't the system at 18 and 50 or whatever.
And he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me that if he didn't have a good year that year, he was getting fired. Before I got, he was getting fired. But luckily, he got a Cinderella team all out of New York, and they ended up going to the NIT. And then they saved his job, and they didn't want to give him another contract. And then I showed up. Right, and I was sophomore then, and we went to championships. We went to the NIT. We lost 3 games, All right, and so we did our. I had a good run. So I'm just saying I was a little disappointed. To this day, I went to his funeral reluctantly, but I went to his funeral, his wake, and his wife was standing there with Dave the Busher, and I said, "Well, I guess my scholarship ends now." You know, that's all I could say. Then we left. My Tom went too. We both went. We were out of respect for. I don't know what for, because the way he treated us.
The situation, you just, that's the one time you can't say what's on your mind.
Nope.
No.
You can't laugh and have a good time.
No. Even though on the inside you're going, well, better him than me, because I know what he was really about. Do you regret not getting into coaching yourself? Because you would have been a great coach.
They would ask me that. I go one step further. When I was at my camp, right, the kids want to get into this tournament, and I don't want to coach. I don't want to lose. These kids were Mexicans. They didn't know. I taught them how to play, right? So finally, the director says, "See, it's a volunteer position." So the director said some magic words to me, like he'll compensate me. And I worked these kids to death. And we played first year undefeated championship. Second year championship undefeated. 2 years in a row undefeated. And they weren't the best ball players, but they played as a team. And they played defense, fundamental basketball. You follow me? And I did it for 3 years. And everybody, I said I can't be doing. I was coaching 2 games on Saturdays, and I don't coach on Sundays. And you have to travel. And I said, no, we're not going to Vegas and stuff like that. Not with these kids. I don't want them in that environment. So we stayed. And then one of the guys I was working for the camp before that, I was actually a consultant. Right, and I'm like this. I know how to coach, but I hired another guy from the NBA, and real quick story. He's coaching, and they were 0-11, and in practice I couldn't say nothing, but I know what he was doing wrong. 0-11. So the guy is saying, "I know you don't do Sundays, but he's going away. Can you coach on Sundays?" Right? I said, "I'll do it." So I told this kid, have some fun, play defense, make your 5 shots. That's all I asked. At halftime, we were up by 10. When he walked in and was shocked, they were up by 10, right? And we won the game. And the parents came on the floor like it was a championship. We're 1-11 now. So he said, "Sam," he said, "I hate to do this, but now we won. We play at 4 o'clock. And I won't be here." So I played at 4 o'clock, right? We won in overtime, and you thought it was a championship. I mean, it was totally unbelievable with the parent. I love parents because these kind of parents are nice. They don't go after you. But came Monday at practice, my guy from the NBA shows up, Bernard, and I says, "We won 2 games. With those idiots?" I go, "Well, we won 2 games." And here's the guy says, "Oh, by the way, hey, family, Bernard's back for coaching," right? And then he ended up winning 0 games the rest of the year. Right, yeah. But
just saying what he said with those idiots. I mean, yeah.
I told him, I said, come on, Bernard. These are kids, man. See, the problem with, you can understand this. The problem with former pro ball players, they have a problem coaching anywhere because they expect. Magic Johnson, right? The only one, he had a problem coaching. You follow me? Larry Bird did all right. Right, but Isaiah Thomas, I don't want to talk about him. But you're surprised at what the kids cannot do, what you did. How come they think that the kids can do what they did? You can't imitate the Johnsons and Thomases. You can't imitate them. You follow me? My favorite pro coach, Pat Riley. He had a super team, which he coached, and they respected him. And when he came to the Knicks, you know what we were saying when he came to the Knicks? How you going to win without the superstars? But he said, okay, we don't have superstars. We're going to beat up everybody. and they almost won a championship with it. In Miami, my favorite coach, because why the players listen to him, right? And Pat Riley, don't forget he played for Kentucky on that team when the first black team beat them. We laid off Rupp, the most racist guy in the world in basketball, and Pat Riley was on that team. That the Texas team beat them.
Oh, and, I didn't know Riley was on that team. As a matter
he was
of
on
fact.
Kentucky. He played on Kentucky.
Wow.
Right.
I forgot that. I don't picture him as a Southern cracker.
He wasn't. Rupp came out and said what he felt about us. You follow me? And I put in a book that I would roll up his grave and see how many blacks are on the team now. But he made no qualms about it. He said, I never had one on my team because they're too lazy and can't run. So that's a disclaimer. But no, Pat Riley was, but he was players played for him. Today, if you watch real close in the NBA, think about it. The players don't really play for the coach. They want to be on TV and do commercials. They don't play. Watch the huddle, right, when they call timeout, of how many players are not listening. They just ignoring them. It's not like that. In the old days, you listen to the coach or you sit, or you don't play.
Right.
And then you mess up. All they do is shoot threes now anyway. So, but coaching, but coming from pros into coaching, it's like coming from college to coaching the pros. It's a whole different ball game. They can't do what you did, man. Come on, nobody can. And Magic was frustrated. See, what the problems, you get frustrated because they can't play like I did.
Right, and
they pounds.
That's true in any sport. In baseball, the superstars don't necessarily make good coaches because they can't appreciate not having the talent that they had. Well, hey, Sam, we're up against it. I so much love reminiscing with you. I'm privileged.
Sam, I appreciate you keeping me alive with this kind of memories, man. By the way, catchers was the best coaches, in baseball. They knew the game better than the regular player. The catchers, they were, they were the best. But no, I enjoy this because it helps us. Memory lane is what we talk about now, with the players and stuff like that. We on the phone and we relive and do things, and then and most important is still trying to help the community with what we did. They can't. These kids today are much better ball players than we were, back in the day. But I'm amazed. I love watching these kids today. There's a kid on YouTube. He's 12.
They may have more talent. They may have more physical ability and more talent, but they weren't better at fundamentals.
Low IQ, low basketball IQ.
Right. So
you hit it right on the head, Rob. So you're right up there with memory lane. You're right up there. What you do and stuff with your your stuff that you do on this kind of shows, it's amazing. It's amazing. I know you're really into baseball. You follow me, because that's your forte. But I really, really appreciate the opportunity for me to vent, and have a good time.
Let me then, because I know you're an old Brooklyn Dodger fan,
big time,
and I know we haven't talked about Red Barber and listening to him.
Oh man!
I posted an interview with Larry King and Red Barber. The other day. I'll send you a link to it as soon as I get it off. It is the most wonderful hour and a half.
Wow.
That Red Barber talked about the integration and how he changed personally, because he was a Southern cracker when he came up, and he's my new hero, broadcasting hero. May he rest in peace. May the
old
rest in peace.
The old redhead. Yeah, wow.
The old redhead. and he talked about how the catbird seat came into being and everything, and it's just great. And I know you will love it. Growing up,
I got to see that. I got to see that. You know,
okay.
But
it'll be on its way as soon as I hang up with you, because you're the best.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. One day, God willing, we'll run in and have a drink somewhere, somehow. I don't know, you know, how life is. I don't buy green bananas right now, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. But if you ever want to vacation, not vacate, but they have a vacation in Northern California, I would love to host you. And I'd love to take you to dinner and
right. That'll be fantastic, because we got a lot to talk. We didn't get into baseball. Beautiful. Thanks so much, Ralph. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate this.
Stay healthy, Sam. I love you.
Same to you, my friend. I'll be watching you all every day. Every day on Facebook. I'll be seeing you. Okay, buddy. You take care. Sometimes
I try not to be blasphemous because of people like you watching me. But I don't know what to do. Hey, listen, the main thing is stay healthy.
That's it. That's the key. You know, keep the dream alive. Keep the dream alive. You know.
The way that I think in my 77 years, I'm trying to catch up with you eventually.
Oh my goodness!
That one has to keep the stress out of living life, and that will increase longevity.
I laugh every day. I laugh every day about something. I laugh every day. My wife about something, usually about me when I do something stupid. But we laugh every day. You know. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you again soon, Ralph. Thanks so much. Right on. Okay, buddy.
Good. Thanks for listening, everybody. Company's Own Radio Network. I'm Ralph Tycho, and I love what I do for moments like this. Thank you again, Sam Stith, and thank you for listening, everybody. Happy trails, and be good to yourselves.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned network production. You are advised to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting offices and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening, everyone. Happy trails.